Welcome to Medill Sports Talk, where we break down the news this week for the sports you love. Today's topic, the NFL. The conference championship round is set, and we're taking you through all the rumors and speculation that's been swirling around the AFC and NFC. I'm Leana Edwards, and joining me at the desk are Brianna Williams and Yahn. Starting with the NFC matchup, Vikings at the Eagles. We've got two second-string quarterbacks starting in their first conference championships. Vikings started the year with Sam Bradford. He suffers a season-ending injury. Carson Wentz, the same situation with the Eagles. Now, Connor, Nick Foles or Case Keenum, who would you rather have as your starting quarterback?
Well, Leana, Case Keenum is the quarterback I want starting for me on Sunday. He has had a full season pretty much to develop his chemistry with the Vikings receivers, with Diggs, with Thielen. He's got the playbook dialed in. He's ready to go. He also has a lot more to prove. If he doesn't make it to the Super Bowl and win it, he gives the Vikings a reason to go with Teddy Bridgewater, to go even with Sam Bradford, two guys that were penciled in as starters when healthy. And Keenum, if he doesn't perform, he's back out on the streets looking for a new job. So you look at Nick Foles, Carson Wentz is there. When he comes back healthy, he's going to take over the starting role, and Foles knows that. So Keenum, he's going to have an extra sense of motivation to keep his job in Minnesota or, even to earn a job elsewhere. So I think that extra motivation, I want that on my team.
And Brianna, Minnesota has a top 5 passing offense. Philadelphia is top 5 in pass defense. Is it really that simple that the Eagles are going to win the NFC?
Well, both teams have started off with a 13-3 record, and neither one of them have won the Super Bowl. So, in addition to what Connor said, I do agree that Case Keenum seems to mesh well better with the team since he's been there for a while. As far as Nick Foles, he hasn't really been there that long, and as you can see, their whole setup has changed since Carson Wentz left. Normally, Carson Wentz was on his feet, whereas it seems like Nick Foles always stays in the pocket. He's really not a very diverse or a running quarterback. Therefore, I believe that Minnesota's definitely going to win, and they have to do it for Grandma Millie since she was 99 and she wants to see her first Super Bowl. They got to bring it home.
Connor, you have anything to add to that?
Well, I think these two teams are really evenly matched. They both have strong defenses. They both have a ton of playmakers on offense that they can spread the ball around to. Minnesota, I worry about them in this game on Sunday, just coming off of the emotional victory, possibly having a letdown. I saw a stat on NFL Research that over the last 10 years, 5 teams have won a playoff game on a walk-off touchdown and advanced to another postseason game after that. All 5 lost by an average of 23 points. So you always look at that. Maybe they let down, but this defense they're too good defensively at all 3 levels. They're not going to get blown out by 23 by anybody. They're too good. You've got Everson Griffin up front, the linebackers, Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, they're great. And then the secondary with Xavier Rhodes and Harrison Smith, those are 2 all-pros back there. So they're not getting blown out. And you look at Case Keenum, the offense, they're going to make enough plays to get the win.
Alrighty. Now let's move on to the AFC. Since winning against the Steelers last week, the Jags have been trash-talking the Patriots all across social media. Jacksonville is a team that hasn't made it to the AFC Championships since 1999. The Patriots are in their 7th straight. Does Jacksonville really have the right to run their mouths, Brianna?
Well, I wouldn't say the whole Jacksonville Jaguars team is running their mouth. It's pretty much just Jalen Ramsey, and we all know how he is. He was the same way last year, but then again, you're in your early 20s, you're worth millions of dollars. I would trash talk too. They're predicted to lose anyway. So what's the worst that can happen? If they lose, it wasn't like they were supposed to win. Therefore, I feel like it motivates him to do better in the game. Like him trash talking, we're talking about it now. A lot of people are outside talking about it like, oh, did you see, we're going to see what's going to happen on Sunday when Jalen is there. And let's be honest, the only person who was concerned about it was Adam Butler, the defensive tackle for the Patriots. The Patriots don't care. Bill Belichick doesn't care. It's just another game, another young guy talking trash, and we'll see what he can do with it.
Now, according to the Boston Herald, Tom Brady was injured when one of his teammates accidentally ran into him and jammed his hand. Although x-rays came back negative, he didn't practice on Thursday. Connor, is this a big deal for the Patriots?
This is a non-issue. Brady and everyone else in the league is they're all dealing with something at this point in the season. Brady's been around a while. I'm sure he's played through worse than this. It's the AFC Championship. He's going to be ready to go. And I mean, everyone's making this big deal about him wearing the glove on his right hand at practice on Thursday. He wasn't practicing. So, I mean, I'd be wearing gloves. I'd be wearing a hoodie, sweatpants. It's cold out there in Foxborough. So, I mean, I'd be bundling up too. And, I mean, come Sunday, he's going to be ready to play. He and Belichick working on the game plan. They're going to be ready to go. So, I think it's a non-issue.
Alrighty, guys. Not only is the number one player on the Pats injured, but the number one guy on the Jags is too. Leonard Fournette was reported with an ankle injury. What does this mean for both teams if their star players aren't at 100%?
As far as Tom Brady, I mean, we saw that when he tore his ACL in 2008, that was the only time he didn't play other than the 4-game suspension last year. Since 2008, he's been in the championships ever since then. He's made it to the playoffs ever since then. Therefore, I mean, we all have injuries, but as a quarterback who's been there for years, you can overlook some things. As far as Leonard Fournette, it's still out in the open. Last week, he came in as a beast the first half. The second half, not so much. So you really don't know what to expect until the game actually comes on Sunday. But at the same time, I feel like he has his defense he has Jalen Ramsey, he has his running backs to keep him up, even if Bortles doesn't throw as expected.
Now, Connor, I'll pass it to you first. Who do you think will win and come out on top for the AFC?
Well, despite Brady, despite Belichick, the greatness of the New England Patriots, I don't think that the Jags are getting a fair shake. I think a lot of people are counting them off just from the start, and they've, like Brianna said, they've run the ball great, and Leonard Fournette is just an animal out there. 3 touchdowns last week. If they get him going, the defense going, they get some turnovers, maybe score a touchdown on defense like they have a lot this season, then that really changes the game. That puts them out in front, and they can just play their style of football, run it, and manage the clock and keep the ball out of Brady's hands. So if they can do that, Jalen Ramsey may match up on Gronk. If he can take Gronk away from Brady, that puts a lot of pressure on their offense to make a play, and I don't think guys other than Gronk can do that.
Now, Brianna, have any thoughts on that and who will win?
Well, first things first, the Jags deserve to be there. With the AFC Championship, they did great. Their defense has been great. And even though they haven't been in the playoffs in recent years, I feel like with this young team, they're very vibrant. They're very confident in themselves. The only thing that kind of makes me hesitant about them winning is that they don't have much experience. And even last week when the Patriots got an easy win from the Titans swept the Jags in the regular season. So that kind of makes me a little bit hesitant. But I hate to say it because I'm not a fan of Brady, but I feel like he's going to go to the Super Bowl for the 8th time this year. But if he doesn't, I wouldn't be upset.
Well, that's all we've got this week for the NFL. We'll be bringing you back next week a preview for the Super Bowl. And who knows, it might just be the Vikings versus the Jaguars. We'll have to see just how it shakes down this weekend. For Connor and Brianna and our crew in the control room, I'm Leana Edwards. Be sure to check out our other segments this week on our YouTube channel at Medill Sports Talk. We'll see you next time.